Hello student, welcome to online physics lecture 12th science chapter number 5 oscillations part 3. So in this session we will start the first topic, difference between conical pendulum and simple pendulum. Okay, so see the distinguished points between conical pendulum and simple pendulum. Okay, so the first point is, in conical pendulum, the trajectory and the plane of the motion of the bob is a horizontal circle. In simple pendulum, trajectory and the plane of motion of the bob is part of a vertical circle. The second point, kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy are constant in a conical pendulum, and in simple pendulum kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy are interconverted and their sum is conserved. The third point, horizontal component of the force due to tension is necessary centripetal force. In simple pendulum, the tangential component of the weight is the governing force for the energy conversions during the motion. The fourth point is the period of conical pendulum. What is its formula? So its formula is T is equal to 2 pi under root of L cos theta upon G. In simple pendulum, the period of simple pendulum, its formula is T is equal to 2 pi under root of L upon G. Then the fifth point is, the string always makes a fixed angle with the horizontal and can never be horizontal. And in simple pendulum, with large amplitude, the string can be horizontal at some instances. Then when we see about for the sixth point, during the discussion for both, we have ignored the stretching of the string and the energy spent for it. However, the string is always stretched, otherwise it will never have tension. Also, non-conservative forces like air resistance are neglected. Okay, so that is the distinguished point between conical pendulum and simple pendulum. Then see the next point. Okay, so the next point is angular SHM and its differential equation. Okay, so in the first part we will discuss about the part for linear SHM and differential equation for linear SHM. So know that the SHMs are in the part of two types. The first, that is the linear SHM, and second is angular SHM. So know that linear SHM means during oscillation, if the path is straight line, that is the linear SHM, and during oscillation if the path in the form of curve, so that is the angular SHM. Okay, so let us discuss about the angular SHM. Okay, so let us see the figure. So in this figure, or the figure shows that the metallic disc is attached centrally to a thin wire, that is the metallic wire. Okay, so in that case we can take this is a metallic disc is attached centrally to a thin wire which is hanging from a rigid support. If the disc is slightly twisted about the axis along the wire and release. Okay, so we can slightly twisted that disc along the wire and release. So this disc, it performs the rotational motion partly in clockwise and anti-clockwise. Okay, so it can be rotated partly in clockwise or anti-clockwise. And such oscillations are called angular oscillations or torsional oscillation. Okay, so these oscillations are called as angular oscillations or torsional oscillations. Okay, so in this motion, the restoring torque in the wire, which is always opposite to the angular displacement, and its magnitude is proportional to the angular displacement. Okay, so thus for angular SHM of a body, the restoring torque means tau acting upon it, and for angular displacement theta, so we say that the restoring torque tau is directly proportional to the angular displacement theta, and they are in opposite direction, so we can write tau directly proportional to minus theta, or neglect the pressure sign, we can use the constant. So in that case we can use the constant in the form of C, so we can write the equation is tau equal to minus C theta, where C, that is the constant of proportionality, so that is also called as restoring torque per unit angular displacement, because C is equal to tau upon theta. Okay, so it is the restoring torque per unit angular displacement. Then if I is the moment of inertia of a body, the torque acting on the body is given by, so know that the relation between the torque, moment of inertia, and angular acceleration alpha. So what is the relation between them? So know that relation is tau equal to I into alpha, where alpha it is the angular acceleration, so we can substitute tau equal to I alpha. So we get the equation is I alpha equal to minus C theta. So you can write I alpha C theta, take on this side, so I alpha plus C theta is equal to 0, but you know that alpha it is right in the form of angular displacement theta, so we'll get I into d square theta by dt square plus C theta is equal to 0. Okay, because you know that alpha, that is d omega by dt, what is omega, that is d theta by dt, so we'll get alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square. Okay, so we'll get the equation is I d square theta by dt square plus C theta is equal to 0, and this is the differential equation for angular SHM. Okay, so we also know that the differential equation for linear SHM. So what is the differential equation? That is m d square theta by dt square plus kx is equal to 0, and both equations are to be similar. Okay, so from this equation the angular acceleration alpha can also be written as, so alpha is equal to, you know that alpha is equal to d square theta by dt square, it is equal to minus C theta upon I. Okay, since C and theta are constant, so the angular acceleration alpha is directly proportional to the theta. Okay, and its direction is opposite to that of the angular displacement, because alpha is directly proportional to theta and they are in opposite direction. Okay, so hence this oscillatory motion is called as the angular acceleration, because we know that in linear SHM the linear acceleration A is directly proportional to linear displacement x. Okay, means A is directly proportional to x and they are in opposite direction, so we'll get the same part for the angular SHM. Okay, so in that case alpha is directly proportional to theta and they are in opposite direction. Okay, so what is the angular SHM? So angular SHM is defined as the oscillatory motion of a body in which the torque or angular acceleration is directly proportional to angular displacement and its direction is opposite to that of the angular displacement. Okay, so this definition is similar to that of the definition for linear SHM, because in linear SHM force or acceleration both are directly proportional to displacement and they are in opposite direction, and in that case in angular SHM the force is replaced by torque and the linear acceleration A is replaced by angular acceleration and the linear displacement x replaced by angular displacement theta. Okay, so we'll get the same definition. Okay, then well, we can write the formula for time period of angular SHM. Okay, so we know that for angular SHM, what is the formula for time period? T is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Okay, so in that case T is equal to 2 pi under root of omega, it can be replaced by angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. Okay, means omega is equal to alpha upon theta. Okay, so That is the formula for time period of angular SHM. Okay, and its formula is T is equal to 2 pi under root of angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. Then see the next point, that is the magnet vibrating in uniform magnetic field. Okay, so see that diagram. So in that case, this is the direction of uniform magnetic field that is shown in the form of B, and this is the magnet. Okay, so in that case we found that if a bar magnet is suspended freely in the plane of uniform magnetic field, so it remains in equilibrium with its axis parallel to the direction of magnetic field. Okay, means if we can suspend the bar magnet in uniform magnetic field, so we found that the magnet is always makes its axis is parallel to the direction of magnetic field. Okay, but suppose if it is given a small angular displacement theta, so we can give the small angular displacement theta like that. Okay, so it give a small angular displacement theta and release, so it perform the angular accelerations. Okay, why? Because what is the tendency of magnet to make its axis parallel to the direction of magnetic field, and when we can give a small angular displacement theta to it, so what is the tendency of magnet to make its axis again parallel to the direction of magnetic field? So due to that region, it can be take a curve path. Okay, and that oscillation are called as the angular acceleration. Okay, so due to that region, the magnet can perform the angular oscillations. Okay, so let mu be the magnetic dipole moment, B is the magnetic field, and in deflected positions a restoring torque acts on a magnet, because this torque can restore the magnet to its original position, so that torque is called as the restoring torque. Okay, so the restoring torque acts on the magnet that tends to bring it back to its equilibrium position. Okay, so due to the restoring torque, what is the tendency of magnet to bring its axis again parallel to the direction of magnetic field, means to take its equilibrium position. Okay, and the magnitude of this torque, so what is the magnitude of this torque? So the tau is equal to mu b into sine theta. Okay, so in that case we say that, while we say about this is the direction for magnetic field. Okay, and we say that this magnetic field can be resolved in the form of two components, one that is in the form of b cos theta and other in the form of b sin theta. So the b cos theta, that is along the axis, so we can remove it. So remaining component is b sin theta, and due to this component b sin theta, the magnet can return to its equilibrium position. Okay, so due to that region, we can take the component in the form of b sin theta. Okay, so the magnitude of this torque tau is equal to mu into b sin theta. What is the mu? That is magnetic dipole moment. And what is the b? That is the magnetic field. So in that case, if the theta is very small, so like that of less than 10 degree, so what is the sin theta? So sin theta is nearly equal to theta, so we'll get tau is equal to mu b into theta. Okay, so for clockwise angular displacement theta, the restant torque is in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, means if the angular displacement is clockwise, so in that direction, so the restant torque it is in anti-clockwise direction, means they are in opposite directions. Okay, then next, so we also know that what is the formula for tau. So know that the formula for tau is tau equal to I alpha. Okay, so in that case tau equal to minus mu b theta, so we'll get tau equal to I alpha equal to minus mu b theta, where I is the moment of inertia of a bar magnet. Okay, and alpha is its angular acceleration. Okay, so we'll get alpha is equal to minus mu b upon I into theta. Okay, so in that case mu, we know that mu, what is the mu? That is the magnetic dipole moment. Then what is the b? So that is the magnetic field. I, that is the moment of inertia. Okay, so mu b and I are constant, so the alpha is directly proportional to theta and they are in opposite direction. So know that according to the part for angular SHM, so What is the angular SHM? So in angular SHM, torque or angular acceleration both are directly proportional to angular distance theta and they are in opposite direction. So the body can perform the angular SHM. So in that case we can prove the same thing. So in that case, as mu, b, I are constant, so we can prove that angular acceleration is directly proportional to angular distance theta and they are in opposite direction. Okay, so we say that hence the magnet performs angular SHM. Okay, then let us find out the period of vibration of magnet. Okay, so the period of vibration of magnet is given by, so what is the formula for period t? So know that its formula is t is equal to 2 pi divided by under root of angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. Okay, so in that case, what is the angular acceleration? That is alpha. What is the angular displacement? Theta. Okay, so we get t is equal to 2 pi under root of alpha upon theta. So in that case, when we can take alpha upon theta in magnitude, so what is formula? So its formula is mu b upon I. So we get t is equal to 2 pi under root of mu b upon I, or it can be write as t is equal to 2 pi under root of I upon mu b. Okay, so that is the formula for the period of vibration of magnet. Okay, so that is the explanation for magnet vibrating in uniform magnetic field. Okay, then after that, actually there are the two next topics. Actually the first is damp oscillation and the next topic or last topic is free oscillation, force oscillation and resonance. Okay, so actually these two topics, damp oscillations and free oscillation, force oscillation and resonance, these topics are omitted from our syllabus. Okay, so therefore this is the last topic of our theory part, magnet vibrating uniform magnetic field. That is the last topic of our theory part. Okay, so the theory part of this chapter to be completed. Okay, so thank you for watching this lecture.